Well, good evening, gang, and welcome to It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I'm your host. And to my right and to your left, of course, is Julia Perciasepe. You know, I'm sorry. It's going to turn into a thing.
It's a tough one.
No, it's not. Perciasepe.
Yeah, there you
Julia Perciasepe. It's not hard.
It's not.
I can't tell you how many times I said it today.
You'll get it.
How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome back. We missed you.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
You've been off on great adventures.
Yes.
I understand. We've missed you the last couple of weeks, but tell me, where have you been? I get all these emails. Where's Julia? What happened?
First, I went to South Carolina, Charleston, for a kind of a conference called the National Media Market.
Right.
And that was really interesting.
Now, is that a collection of people that do the same kind of things that your nonprofit does over in Watertown, where they kind of help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fairly similar things. There's a range of us, and then we were interacting with media buyers. So it was a nice face-to-face with people who we're normally talking to on the phone or emailing with. So it's a good opportunity to kind of get together and talk about the industry and what's going on and what does it all mean.
That's great. Is it the same group of people, or are you putting new faces to voices and?
Yeah, definitely. Meeting new people, networking is a big part of it. Is
any of the films get involved? I mean, do you have any screenings and things to go through?
Sure. Yeah, good. We have a screening room, so anybody can come in and screen one of our films whenever they want. And then we gave a presentation at one point, kind of showing our new releases and what we thought people might be interested in.
Right. Well, that's great. Did you learn anything?
I guess so. Yeah, I learned a lot of things. Mostly met a lot of people, but yeah.
Well, the whole networking thing in your industry is very, very important, because it's important to kind of know where to move somebody to, or where you can get some information or some contact from. Is very, very important.
It is.
How's things going on over at, what's the name of the company again?
Documentary Educational Resources.
Documentary Educational Resources.
We can call it DER from now on.
Okay, thank you. You're figuring me out pretty quickly there. Things are going well over there? They didn't miss you much?
I guess not.
Of course they did.
Yes, they did.
So how are we going to get this place together, and how are we going to do this?
There was a lot of work coming back, and then after Charleston, I went to Montreal for a film festival.
Yeah, let's talk about the film festival. That sounds very, very exciting.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kind of describe a film festival to me. I mean, for our BNN friends at home, who might not, it's not just going to the movies, is it?
No.
Yeah. What goes on?
Well, this one in particular was is kind of just getting off the ground. I mean, it's been around for a number of years, but it takes a while for a festival to get as big as some of the bigger festivals.
It's not Cannes.
No. So it's a lot of logistics and coordinating, and so I was part of the industry part.
You were part of the organization?
I wasn't part of the organization, but so there's the festival where anybody, the public, can come and see the videos, and it's all over the city at different venues. And then there's the industry part, where it's filmmakers and industry folk, from broadcasters to other film festivals, to media buyers, to distributors who come, and we talk to the filmmakers, and there's panels and one-on-one meetings where people can pitch you their film.
Oh, there's all that too.
Yeah, so there's a lot that goes on and a lot that goes into a festival. So it's
how many films
kind of
were
whirlwind.
Shown? I mean, did they hand out any stars and stuff?
You mean like best in shows or whatever?
Kind of things.
I don't know, actually. Because I was part of the industry event, I didn't get to go to a lot of the screenings.
Oh, okay.
As an industry person, you get to kind of have your list of films and watch them after, so you can kind of take your time and.
It must be a maddening pace. I mean, if you're actually there as a reviewer or somebody who wants to either purchase. Tell me if I'm saying it wrong. Purchase the rights to show the film someplace?
Yeah, or distribute the film or broadcast the film. Yeah, it is fairly exhausting. You're just constantly talking to people, and yeah, it's.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that whole licensing of somebody's work, because we run into it constantly in the music business, because we're always going through Harry Fox agency to kind of like get the rights to use a particular piece of material. How long it is, does that determine sometimes the cost of being able to do it? Is it how popular the film is? Who's in the film? I mean, how does it, who directed it? How does that licensing be? Let's say I want to show your film. I have a little theater in Dedham, the Dedham Cinema, and I want to show several of your documentaries. What do I got to do?
So it kind of works two ways. One way is that the distributor pays for the film to get into movie theaters.
Okay.
So that's kind of big time.
Well, Raiders of the Lost Ark stuff is above most of us,
and so, but small art cinemas, they might pay a small fee. It depends, like you said, on what film it is, who's the director, who's promoting it, who's in the film. For our films, they're so kind of obscure and niche that...
niche, that's a great...
Yeah, that we have a lot of screenings all over the world, but the fees are very small. We basically sell public performance rights so that they can show it, typically for, no charge admission.
Ad nauseum, or is that one or two showings?
One or two showings.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're on a school campus, you could show it whenever you want. And then if they charge admission, the price goes up a little more. The more people they expect, the price goes up a little more. So it's all this kind of
But we want the artists to get paid for doing this cool stuff they do. And I think that's kind of what's behind Harry Fox. I'm a member of ASCAP, and BMI. I mean, you just are as a composer. You just put, you want to. Not that I'm writing anything that Paul McCartney is going to want to do, but you know what I'm saying. You just want to make sure that you're protected as far as your materials.
Right.
We have the Fiddlehead Theater, so here I'm sure that they run into all that kind of thing as well. Because they bring in plays from all over the place. So we're going to be talking a lot about that.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know how that works.
Before, when we were meeting you, we talked about you as an artist.
Yes.
And I twisted your baby finger, and you brought some pieces in.
Yep.
I'm dying to show these. I mean, this is very exciting for us here. And it's all about arts. You'll be able to look on the monitor down there, and you'll be able to kind of describe a little bit about what we're looking at. What do we got here? You said you were a collagist and like a decoupage. And...
Yeah, collage. And so I started kind of just two-dimensional. And then I kind of grew into these shadow boxes, which is what I just mainly work with. And this one on the left, or
this one,
the right,
the bigger,
the viewer's right.
Okay.
The smaller one.
This one here.
That's one of the very first shadow boxes I ever did, and that was when I was studying art history, and it was this combination of I was studying art history, and my father was getting into birding, and so I had all of these inspirations. For that one.
That's really cool.
And then the second one, the larger one, most of my pieces, I would say 99% of them are inspired by people.
Okay.
And I do them for gifts a lot.
That's nice.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a piece of art as
so that one I actually gave to my fiance for, I think it was his birthday or something.
And he relinquished it for us tonight?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, thank you very much.
So it was inspired by a trip we took to the Sinai Peninsula and Israel. And so it's kind of inspired by him and that trip, and it has some weird elements to it.
No, it's
I'm into beautiful. Kind of weird little things. You can see there's a...
That's one of the reasons you're here. Because you're so weird.
I just want to point out, in these bubbles, there are actual insects that have been dried and I don't know how long they'll last, but they're in there.
That's pretty exciting. In this one here, there are insects inside. That's very neat.
Yeah.
There's one.
Yeah, exactly. It's a cicada.
Okay.
I'm glad you got that.
Yes, that's very cool, huh?
Yep.
Well, that's dynamite. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Please bring your work in anytime you want.
I will.
I mean, I do.
Yeah.
You might as well too. There was an amazing, great event this weekend that I was so proud and to be part of. I was a speaker at an amazing event this past Friday, which was a tribute to the great Mayor Tom Menino. And Dennis Hoffman and John Cushing and a whole team of people put this tribute together for him at the Irish Social Club in West Roxbury. And the Boston Public Quartet played. We had classical music there, and I was asked to John Tobin, the city councilor, ex-city councilor, now runs the Laugh Factory, or one of the comedy clubs downtown here. He was the host, and it was a sit-down dinner and the whole thing. And the mayor and his lovely wife Angela came. And we were raising money for Camp Harborview, which is a camp out on Long Island run by the Boys and Girls Clubs. And like I said, I was one of the 4 people to speak. It was just a complete honor and thrill.
Yeah.
But they had over 500 people and raised $12,000.
Wow.
For Camp Harborview. Yes. But the reason I bring it up is because I love this mayor, and he's been like the mayor for forever.
Forever.
And we had our daughter with us, who's 26, and she's kind of like the only mayor she knows is Tom Menino. And when she was 5 or 4 or 5 years old, she had a picture taken with him when he was city councilor. So she was so nervous and so afraid to go up and speak to him. I says, come on, let's go. So I brought her over, and I said to the great man, I said, this is my daughter, Rebecca, Mr. Mayor. She had a picture taken with you a while ago. Oh, really? How long ago? 26, 24 years, 23 years ago. And he goes, oh, get in here. And we had another picture taken with him. But he's going to kill me. But when it was his turn to get up, he got emotional.
Yeah, I would too.
He got emotional. I mean, there were over 5, and this mayor's always been this guy to me, you know, this bigger than life dude, you know, and but he was touched by it. So I have to put a big thank you out there to anybody that was involved in this thing. It was an amazing neighborhood tribute to a great man. I think the greatest Bostonian in my lifetime is how I put it, and. It was a lot of fun. I know the BNN covered it, so there's going to be some coverage here on the station about it. So it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. What else is coming up with you? Anything interesting we need to know about? Running any marathons or
no.
playing it? Starring in any plays or anything that we need to?
Nope. We have another screening coming up, which I think I mentioned last time on the 5th. Yep. So I can't even, what is that, next week, next Thursday, or something like that?
Weeks,
2 Thursdays?
Yep.
A Life Without Words, the film is called, about 2 deaf siblings in Nicaragua, kind of learning sign language for the first time. So it's a really moving film. They're teenagers.
The teenagers.
Yeah, so they, you know, have been living their life communicating, you know, however they can, in their own way, yeah. So that's at 7 o'clock at the Paramount Center, Emerson's Paramount Center, and you can find out more information on our website, www.der.org.
Excellent.
And all the information will be there, and come on out.
Come on out. Do you go to all the screenings?
I do.
Are you collecting the No, you're not collecting the
No. It's free. It's free.
That's another cool thing. It is free.
Yeah, it's totally free. Yeah.
Will the film people, makers, what do we call them?
Filmmakers or producers or directors, yeah.
Will they be there? A little Q&A?
Yeah, we're going to have a Q&A after. There was a foundation that's based in Maine that kind of spurred the making of this film, and they have some people in Nicaragua who were working on it as well. And so the founder of that organization is going to be there, and we are 90% sure the filmmaker will be there.
Good. That's good.
So it'll be good.
One of the things I've always enjoyed about any gallery openings that we've done or anything like that is that the artist is there. And,
it's really
and people
important.
really do get an opportunity to learn more about, get a better appreciation of what they're looking at and stuff. We do have to thank our great friends at Boston Main Streets for being a part of our program here. They have been with us for many years, and we are so proud of the things that they are doing around our city. Main Streets is a volunteer-driven organization which helps revitalize the business districts around the city and now around the world. Then again, that city councilor, Tom Menino, brought Main Streets to Rosendale for the first time to try it in an urban setting. And what he did was he saw that Rosie Square was in very, very dilapidated state. And he brought in this Main Street program which works with the property owners to get their demographic information correct, to make sure that they work with the design committee to make sure that the people, once they get into the storefront, have all the information they need to put up their signage and get through all that city hall minutia to get your permitting and all that stuff done. Then they have a promotions committee which puts on events and gets people down to the square to see all those kinds of things. So we want to thank them. Always, always have to thank them. And I like to say it in the fashion of, if you see somebody in a Main Streets t-shirt, please make sure you thank them for everything that they do, because they're volunteers. And they're only doing it because they love their community just like we do. So please make sure you say thank you. The other thing we talk about always is BNN-TV, this amazing building that we're in. We are so fortunate to be surrounded with all of this really, really cool stuff here. What it is it's your opportunity to do television, not only to do it, but to learn how to produce it and get here and become a member and sign out all the really cool equipment and take some classes in Final Cut Pro and lighting and audio, learn how to do shoots out on locations. And you come back here and you go into our state-of-the-art Timothy Smith lab downstairs, which has these amazing, brand new, and the most powerful Macs in the world, and you do all of your editing right there. And lo and behold, you put it on a disc and they put it on TV. And if you're interested in doing any of that, the way to do that is to go to www.bnntv.org. Click on Janice Williams or Jim Atwood's name. They're the people that have all the information that you'll need to become a member and get on here and do some television. This is the place to do it. And also, if you want to see this show again, we have our own station now. It's on YouTube. I've been loading things up there from years and years and years. So there's Fat Glenn, there's Bearded Glenn, there's Glenn with long hair, there's Young Glenn, there's Scared Glenn, and all kinds of things to see at that. And that station is It's All About Arts 1 on YouTube. So if you go to that, that's the way to get to see some of our programming that has been already done. Listen, we got to get to the show.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else going on? You're going to come back up at the end,
Yeah,
right?
I'll come back up.
So listen, gang, we are. This is Julia. This is Glenn. We are coming to you live from our beautiful studios. And if you want to join us, you can. You can give us a call. We're at 617-708-3290. Dave and the great staff of BNN are in the other. There it is, right there. Dave and the great staff of BNN are in the other room answering the phone. So if you want to jump in, let us know what's going on, please feel free to give us a call. Listen, my name is Glenn, this is Julia. We're coming to you from BNN-TV's Studio B. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with our show. Don't go away. We've got lots and lots of programs to come. We'll be right back.
See you standing over there, just the other afternoon, hidden by shadows, waiting for a man, hidden from the sun. For a man that never comes, like a race that's never run. As the road widens, and it almost always will, you look upon this day. The outlook will broaden as you find it was in you, growing from a place with a bright and happy face, better trained to run that race. Answers never heard, feeling so absurd, empty, lost, confused, and blue. Phone calls not returned, lost and so concerned. How to cope? Old friends will pull you like a race that's never run. Like a bell that's never rung. Like a song that's never sung.
Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot for hanging in there with us. You are watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I am your host, and we are coming to you live tonight from our beautiful Studio B, and you're more than welcome to join us if you'd like. We're 617-708-3290. And if anybody ever says, gee, I missed that show the other night, how do I get a chance to see it? We will be on YouTube tomorrow night. The address at YouTube is It's All About Arts 1. And that's how you get to us. And right now, it's my great, great pleasure and honor to introduce you to Meg Fofonoff.
That's it.
How'd I do?
You did
That's
great.
very, very good, isn't it? For the first jump in there.
Excellent.
And Shana Dirik, welcome to the studio,
Thank
ladies.
you.
Thank you very much for being here with us.
Thanks for
you
having
are
us.
with the Fiddlehead Theater.
Yes.
Fiddlehead Theater is a theater that's been around for quite a long time, and you have a lot to do with it, don't you, Meg?
Just a little.
Just a little bit. Congratulations on your longevity, and thank you guys for taking a break in your obviously very, very tiring.
Well, everyone works hard.
Everybody does work hard. You know, I'm going to start with Shana right now because you are stage center right now at the Strand, is
Yes,
it? And
yes.
you're starring in one of Fiddlehead's productions right now. Tell me a little bit of what's going on over there.
Yes, we're doing A Little Princess right now at the Strand with Fiddlehead, and I'm very excited and honored to be playing Miss Minchin,
Okay.
the evil
Must be fun.
love it.
To be evil.
Headmistress of the boarding school, a very layered character. But I'm having a wonderful time. It's a fantastic group of actors and actresses.
Now, you guys just opened just a few
Just
days
opened.
ago, right?
We had a preview Thursday, our opening night Friday, and 2 on Saturday and 1 yesterday. So
Wow. How long is it going to be at this? How long are you guys going to run there?
2 more weekends.
2 more weekends?
2 more weekends.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sure that, how was opening night?
It was wonderful.
Was it?
Had a wonderful standing ovation at the end there. So yeah,
But of course.
makes everything all worth it.
I mean,
But of
come
course, yes, oui.
Oh, you're stealing my lines.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That's okay. You're more than welcome to jump on my lines anytime you want. Meg, you're part of the are you the founding person or part of the founding team for Fiddlehead?
I started it.
You started
so
it.
I am indeed the founder, crazily
Are
enough.
you part of the family of actors and actresses as well? Have you done theater or is
No, I mean, I have had a walk-on here or two, but I leave the stage to such impressive people as Shana. I like the behind the scenes and the planning and the, creating in that way.
So you don't work your way in Alfred Hitchcock style every now and then, sitting at the counter
On
or
occasion.
delivering the mail or something?
On occasion, I've had a walk-on, but being on stage actually makes me tremendously nervous.
Well, then you're in the right position
I
then,
just
I guess.
as soon leave it to them.
What inspired Fiddlehead Theater to become? The beginnings is obvious. I mean, you love the theater. You want to do it. You think you want to get people on stage in front of other people, doing great things. But how long has it been now?
20 years,
20
which
years
is hard to believe.
It goes by like that.
It goes by like that, and it
Yeah.
really was, hey, I want to start a theater company. I remember telling my parents, and they looked at me like I had two heads. They said, you want to do what? But it's a wonderful way to bring people together. It's a wonderful way to bring the arts to people. You engage your audiences and they become part of the play if they're engaged enough. And theater truly changes people's lives. We do a lot of education. We work with kids.
Oh, great.
And adults and kids alike. They're certainly in sports, and which I'm not that knowledgeable about sports. Lots of people are. The same camaraderie and teamwork that happens in sports, it happens in theater. And theater particularly, though, I think allows people to be someone else maybe that they or a piece of themselves that they don't always show in real life somehow comes away on stage through their roles.
Well, you get to put that mask on, and kind of let yourself fly a little as an actress.
An amazing thing.
You know what I mean? I mean, I've done poco. I've done a little bit of theater. I was Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar years ago on one of the productions, and so I know that adrenaline and that horror.
And the
before
horror.
you walk out.
It's also, I think, a saving place for a lot of, I started when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And I think for kids in high school especially, it's a saving place. It's a place to go where you're accepted,
Great.
where everybody loves you, and you can be yourself.
Right. Well, the first thing you said was you got a standing ovation, and I know how important that is.
It is.
It really is. You're a nonprofit as well. Do you have programming, actual set programming where you bring kids in and give them a chance to put the paint on?
We do. I mean, we've done children's programs since the very beginning. I mean, even before we did our first show, we did a class. So that's education has always been a huge piece. And we have an exciting project in our new role as resident company at Strand Dorchester. We're actually collaborating with the Boys and Girls Clubs of
I work
Dorchester.
for the Boys and Girls Club. I'm at Orchard Gardens.
Yeah,
I'm a tech director over there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we're really excited. We had a great meeting with Mike Joyce, and we're going to be doing a free program starting in January. We're going to be Schoolhouse Rock Live Junior.
Oh, very good.
With the kids.
Oh, you'll have to let us know so we can bring our kids over to see.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
For sure.
fabulous.
And we're going to be rehearsing in their clubhouse over there.
Now,
So.
you snuck by that you are the company in residence at the. What does that mean?
Everyone always asks that. Yeah. What does it mean to be resident? We did Ragtime there last October.
I went to Ragtime.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed opening night. It was great.
So glad you did.
Yes.
It was a powerful show, and it was the beginning of a new chapter for us, where I felt, and that's where the residency at the Strand came about. That. Doing shows that are meaningful, I think, in our world today and address a lot of issues. And doing shows, after having done theater for 20 years, doing shows in a place, in a community that really needs us and wants us, and that we can help, serve that theater and serve that community.
First of all, back to that great mayor again. They have put so much work into that building. It is going to be the jewel it was.
And I truly believe that, and that was going to be the next thing I was going to say is thank you to, I think he's my good friend now, to Mayor Menino, who I am so inspired by every day. He is the best mayor ever. When you were talking about that earlier, there's, he's amazing. And he really believed in us after he saw Ragtime, and that's how this whole residency came about, through him and Chris Cook, who is a good friend as well. And they both really felt that our being resident at the Strand could make a difference at the, and to answer your question of what it means a presence that's going to be consistent and constant and invested in the community.
Not exclusive.
Not exclusive.
So other companies come in and do things.
Because the Strand, it's 365 days a year. We could never do that many shows. And
Right, I saw, what did I see that not too long ago was Looped.
Looped, right.
Oh, yeah,
Looped was
that's
there,
right.
and we
That
went
was
to
there.
that opening night.
Yeah.
We just did
I get to go to
Romeo and
open-
Juliet, I think,
I
as
get
well.
to go to
Yeah.
opening nights
Yeah,
every
which is
now and
opening
then.
nights are great.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
Mr. Williams, this way.
Opening nights are the best. Opening nights are the best. I wish you could have been at our opening night. I knew about
Yes.
that wonderful event from Mayor Menino,
Yeah.
but that was our opening night. So
I had to go.
I know. Well, I would have been there if I didn't have opening night. But no, thank you to Mayor Menino,
Yeah.
and our being resident there just means that we're going to be there really serving that community and helping revitalize that theater
Great.
and never letting it go away because it's such an amazing place. So thank you, Mayor Menino.
Yes. Shana, let's talk a little bit about that. It's a horrible expression, and but
Break
it
a leg?
sounds really cool. No. Cattle call.
Shall we talk about the cattle call? Well,
Let me back that up just
Sure.
for a couple of. Did you hear about the Little Princess, and kind of did it come through your pipeline and someone said,
Right.
you got to go read for this?
Right.
And is that kind of how it works? Is it literally, do you get there and there's 15, 30 other women looking as mean as they can too?
and dressed.
And dressed ready to...
In period. No. No, there were literally 500 people that auditioned for this production.
My Lord.
The callbacks alone, I think there were maybe 200 that were
Yeah.
called back. And for my character, there were anywhere up to 10 women that were each brilliant in their own way with a different take on the character. I was very blessed to have worked with Fiddlehead once before. Many years ago, I played Miss Hannigan in Annie. So I sort of...
You've been typecast.
I've been a little typecast. So I knew Meg, and I knew that I definitely wanted to work with her again. And when I heard she was the resident theater company at the Strand, what a beautiful theater and what a wonderful opportunity. So I didn't hesitate to come out and audition and just, you take your chances. You go out
Sure.
and you
Of
go on
course you
all
do.
these cattle calls and you hope for the best. And things usually, I feel, work out the way they're supposed to work out.
Meg, does it work that way sometimes when you're the artistic director, so you're kind of like looking at the play at first, and do you go, oh, Shana?
Yeah, I think, often when I pick a show, I do think of someone, particular. And then we go through the paces of, being fair and having, opening auditions up to everybody, because you never know what's going to happen.
You're right. You don't.
But Shana was a shining star, and she's a delight and pleasure to work with and brilliant, and I can't say enough good things about her.
How many shows of Fiddlehead do in this a year? How many things?
With our here. in
Yeah,
our
I mean,
new
you got a
setup.
home almost.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
so-
I mean, we have dates programmed 5 years out and with 3 show seasons. This first year is a little different because, thank you to Mayor Menino, the Strand is putting in a state-of-the-art lighting and sound system.
Yes, they are.
So that they're going to be closed January, February, and part of March. Normally, we'll do a show in the winter. That's why we're doing the Boys and Girls Club show. So we're in the area doing a show, rehearsing. It'll actually go up at the Strand mid-March. So normally 3 show seasons. This year it's a little different because of that renovation.
they're opening a club in Mattapan that's going to be specific to performing arts and music.
Oh, how fantastic.
lovely.
That's great.
Yeah, it's
Wonderful.
going to be a great.
Fabulous.
Give me the dates and the times and the website where I can go and get all the information I need.
It's www.fiddleheadtheater.com.
Well, it's good that you were able to get that. That's great.
Yeah. Miraculous.
Miraculous. It wasn't taken.
Miraculous. And we, one other piece I actually want to mention, it was interesting, I think you were talking in the earlier segment about how amazing it is to work when you do a piece. I think you were talking about film, when the filmmaker can come, when the actual, and we have a great gift with this production because next Friday and the following Friday, we are having in combination the whole team that wrote Little Princess.
Great. Well, that's the show to go to.
So on Friday the 29th, Andrew Lippa, who is the composer and also big Broadway composer, he just did Big Fish, which is on Broadway, as well as Wild Party and a couple of other things. He's coming and doing a talk back. And then the following Friday, the 6th, Brian Crawley, who is also a big Broadway writer, who wrote the book and the lyrics, is coming to do a talk back. And those are free to the public after the show.
That's great.
To stay and be able to meet the writers.
So there's 2 more weekends or 1?
2 more weekends.
2 more weekends of shows.
So it's basically the 29th of November through the 8th of December.
Okay, great. Meg, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
coming
having
in.
us.
Listen, now that you're a resident and you're going to be stone's throw away, please come back anytime.
We'd love to. Thank you so much.
Let's see if we can't get you in here and maybe get something where we maybe do a talk or something, or maybe do a scene or 2.
Absolutely. Whatever you want, you let us know.
Shana, thank you.
Thank you.
And good
Pleasure.
luck
Pleasure.
and be as mean as you
Oh, I am. Don't you worry
don't
about
let
that.
that little
So
princess.
sweet deep down
I'm not
inside.
holding back. Not holding back.
Listen, gang. Listen, gang, we're going to take a break. We have another great guest coming up. This is a great show. Listen, gang, don't go away. You're watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I'm your host. And we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Please don't go away. Thanks. Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot for hanging in there with us. And it's my great pleasure and honor to introduce you to Jeremiah Eck.
Dutch.
Yeah, Jeremiah, how are you? Good to meet you, brother. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. You are a painter, but I'm gonna throw my patent. I don't know if it's patent, but my stock question, to any painter that comes on here. If you had to pick out of a drop-down box the kind of an artist that you are,
Right.
if you're putting together an electric press kit or something, and you had to pick from the standard list of types of artists, what do you think you would pick for yourself?
Tonalist.
A totalist.
Tonalist.
Tonalist.
Yeah.
Explain that to me. What's a tonalist?
Late 19th century, early 20th century, very, very popular in this country. Fell off the map. People like Innes, probably heard his name, George Innes.
Sure.
Alexander Wyatt, Murphy,
Oh, okay.
Crane. I happen to think it was the equivalent of French Impressionism, but in America what happened is the French Impressionists sort of took over, and the kind of purples took over, if you will. But
Purples moved in.
right, the purples and the bright reds. But the tonalists were all about mood, emotion. They sort of were a reaction against the industrialization of the late 19th century. Beautiful stuff, maybe a little dark for a lot of people. And so
Well, I think art is supposed to induce a feeling.
Yeah.
You know, and darkness is great.
well, I think I have some tonalist paintings, actually old ones I've got in auction.
Yeah.
Anyway, that
How long have you been in this?
don't say business.
I'm not gonna. No, God, no. I've been doing this long enough to know it's not a business. In this medium.
Well, again, I'm an architect by profession, and obviously
That's where we say you compensate your income by being.
that's where I make most of my income, yeah. Sort of. And obviously, training as an architect, there's some of it, and later in life, I started to collect paintings. And I found I was attracted to this period of time. And so one day, this is an interesting story, one day I'm on the Guild in Newbury Street, and I go in and I'm looking, and there was a contemporary painter, I mean by contemporary, one who's alive. And there was a painting on the wall, and I said to the woman there who was running the gallery, you know, really love this painting, I'd like to buy it, and I'd really like to take some lessons from this fellow if he's around. And she said, well, why don't you ask him? He's standing right next to you.
Hold on, I'll introduce you.
He was right there. So I took,
I love when that
I took
happens.
maybe 12 lessons with this guy. Really.
But you're an architect, so you're an artist anyways.
Well,
I mean, you know,
yeah,
you can draw a straight line, and you understand, you do understand the color wheel, and you know.
Well, it's in the end.
But was that your first kind of jump into it? Was there any watercolors or pastels or oils before that as a younger citizen?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, I began painting in oils 15, 20 years ago. And surprisingly enough, about 10 years ago, I said to my partners at my firm, I was really getting tired of emails and the management of the business. And I said to them, I need to take Fridays off to paint. And they said, they looked at me and I said, are you serious? And I said, yes, I'm quite serious. And I said, I'm so stupid that I'll even take a pay cut, because that's how serious I am about that. I didn't want them to think I was doing it just to get a day off. Now, what was interesting to me, and this is an important lesson, I think, to everyone, I did it to try to get a rest.
Take a break.
Yeah. What I found was, though, by painting and really throwing myself into that, I became much more intuitive. I trained again my intuitions. So that when I went back to the office in the other 4 days, I felt much better about working.
That's
and
good.
I was much better at what I did. I could make decisions more intuitively. The management side didn't bother me quite so much. So it's a lesson. I think if you do what you love.
Well, I think that release of our inner creativity
exactly.
is so important.
Exactly.
I mean, I teach, so I get to do it every day.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's just so exciting for me. Working in oils, are you able to work on several pieces? I'm assuming they're all oils, right?
Yes.
You must be able to work on several pieces at a time.
Well, I paint en plein air a lot, outside in the summer.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. And you find that about 2.5 hours is all you can, the light changes too much.
Yeah.
You might take the painting inside, you might then spend another hour on it. And then in the winter, and this is a 19th century notion, this is not my idea, you will use those paintings you did outside as kind of, call them studies or call them beginnings of another painting, enlarge them, make some larger versions of the same painting.
Some of us take photographs, you actually go out and paint the scene and bring it into the studio.
Yeah, I don't use photograph, I don't believe in that, but I think it's important to be there, see the space, feel the light.
Yeah.
And
I think it's a lost art, plein air painting, to be honest with you, because you do have to work with the light that you're given. And you really can't come back tomorrow and expect to see the same thing. So you really kind of got to get done what you need to get done while you're there.
And the truth is, they're not all going to be masterpieces, but nonetheless, the experience. I say it's better than golf. I mean, golf, you go out 3 hours, you come back. If you got a good score, nobody cares. Nobody
3
wants
hours, you can play 18 holes in 3 hours?
All right, 4 hours, 5 hours. But when you come back, nobody cares what your score was. They don't want to hear it.
Right, exactly.
And you got nothing to show for it.
Right, exactly.
At least in painting, you come back and maybe 2 out of 5 you hold.
That's good.
You know?
Do you have a specific place to work?
I spend a lot lot on the South Shore and the marshes and.
But I mean, your studio. Do you have?
Oh, I have a studio in the South End.
Oh,
Not
out of it all. How can you?
600, less smaller than the studio, actually.
That's plenty of room.
Right down the street from my architectural office.
Okay.
And, you know, Fridays I go there and I paint.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at something. I know that you brought some work in for us to look
I
at.
brought a few, yeah.
Here we go. I want you to talk us through a little bit the size and.
That's a still life done inside, actually. These aren't, that's obviously not on, well, it's sort of on plein air, I guess. It's real. It's kind of done in an old-fashioned, I'm an old-fashioned painter, actually. So.
Put it up in front of you and let me paint it.
Exactly, and try to get an emotion, try to get something that feels like you've seen it before.
How big is this?
This is about 12 by 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Get some landscapes up there. Yeah, okay. So that's, this is what I mean by tonalism in a way. This is a kind of foggy morning in the, this is an Appledore actually, up in the coast off Portsmouth. This is where Child Hasim painted a lot. There used to be a big hotel there. They'd go in the summer and paint it, burnt down, blah, 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 same old story. But this feeling of, you know, what it's like early in the morning, the light hasn't quite come up yet.
It's beautiful.
Fully, so.
Okay, let's move through a few of these so that we can.
Actually, you're picking Appledore, but this again, another Appledore. This is funny, you know, I arrived there, I love to paint there on occasion. I got off the boat and I painted this within an hour and a half after I arrived. I just set up my easel and went right at it. And it happened, you know, it came off the end of the brush, as they say. And that was. This is Marshfield. This is down at Gurnett Point. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's really a lovely spot. There's a couple old beach roads that go along the water.
Into the dunes?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. This is up in Gloucester. Just a rock scene, I guess.
That's beautiful.
Again, Gurnett Point. I actually rented that little cabin for a part of a summer and painted there. There was no water, no
Did a little residency of your own?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's look at a couple more.
Oh, that's me.
There you are, painting.
That's me painting on Gurnett Point, yeah.
That's great. Everyone needs a self-portrait, right?
Right, exactly. This is Dover. I think this is the Charles River.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you actually travel around with your when you pull your Friday, and do you actually put your collapsible easel in your car or in the back of your bike and go out searching, or is that something that you do beforehand, or do you take from experience from others for location?
I have a 1948 Willys Jeep.
You do?
I do. And I stuff my French easel in that, and I drive around the dunes, and I find a spot I like, and
You're
every
as
time
traditional as they come.
I
This
know,
is
I can't-
great. There's
can't-
no other way to do it.
You know, I always think it is not, you know, this whole notion about contemporary versus traditional, I find tedious and boring. I just don't, it doesn't matter to me whether you are, it's true in architecture too, you know, are you contemporary, are you traditional?
Yeah.
But I think that in the end, it's what moves you is important, and what's good is important.
Right,
Who
exactly.
cares? Who cares about
Are you showing anywhere?
I do. I show at occasional galleries. I have my studio's open, you know, the first Fridays.
We need to. Oh, you're doing First Fridays in the South End?
Yeah, I do First
Oh,
Fridays.
what's
yeah.
your website so people can get in contact with you?
Well, they can go to www.eckmcneely.com. That's my architectural website. I don't have personal website.
Are you with Canvas Fine Arts yet?
Canvas Fine Arts.
Suzanne Schultz?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know her. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she can find you too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
No, I appreciate it. Let's not be strangers. I'd love you to come back again.
Well, let's talk about the art forever, right? I mean, that's,
Okay.
you know, the arts. My daughter's, I have a young daughter. Mm-hmm. 13, believe it or not. And she's just flowering into the arts. And I'm so excited to see somebody finally care again about the arts.
Yeah.
It's so important in our lives.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do come back.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you very much for being
that.
with us. It's great. Don't move, please. Don't move. Listen, gang, thanks a lot. Well, listen, we'll be back in just a really quick break, and we will get Julia back up here, and we'll close the show. Listen, gang, don't go away. You're watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, your host. We'll be back in just 1 second. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When I look into your eyes, I can see your mother's smile. I can see the moon and stars up in the sky. I can see beyond the blue. And I can see your dreams come true. When I look into your eyes, I can see the sands of time. I can see the hopes and dreams and all your fears, though they're sometimes filled with clouds. Your eyes have always done me proud. No one told you, bought and sold you this way before. I'll console you, help to mold you. Your confidence we will restore. When I look into your eyes, I gotta say that sometimes I can see the whole world looking back at me.
We're back. We're back. Thank you very much for hanging in there, gang, with us. And of course, Julia is back here with us. That was very interesting.
Yeah.
Those theater people were great.
Yeah, very
Fiddlehead.
theatrical. Fiddlehead. Yeah.
Very theatrical. Really. It's great that they have a residency here at the Strand, right in the middle of Boston, because that theater needs that kind of energy and those people doing that kind of stuff. Have you been to the Strand?
I haven't.
Oh, goodness.
No. I was just saying the other day how I've actually never been to theater in
Really?
Boston.
Really? Every now and then we get tickets. We'll have to, the four of us will have to go and go to a show, because we're very fortunate that way.
Yeah.
We get invited. I don't get the chance to go as often as I'd like to, but it would be fun. It's really what it is, what you think it is.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot going on in Boston. I just, you always think New York, and I'm in New York so much that it's like.
New York is overload.
Yeah, it is.
There's so many people trying to do all the same thing, but here in Boston, I think we are so fortunate to be surrounded with the kind of artistic thing, you know. I mean, just look at what Jeremiah's doing. I mean, those paintings. I'm such a color. Look at this color kind of guy, you know.
Me too.
And but that's an entirely different way to look at the medium. And
yeah, they're really nice.
And he is definitely riding around in an old Jeep like that. I can see him showing up at the dunes and.
It's old school.
It is very old school.
Much.
Going out and plein air painting is very old school, and he's pretty good at it. So what do you got? Let's tell me again about this showing that's over at Emerson, right?
Yep.
Screening, right?
It's a screening. Yep, a free screening, December 5th at 7. It should. The film is only 71 minutes, and then there's Q&A after.
Very cool.
It should be fun.
Will you be there?
I'll be there.
Excellent, excellent.
Come and say hi.
Yes,
if
please. If you see any
coming.
of us at any of these events that we talk about, make sure you come over and say hi to us, because we like to know who's watching and stuff.
Definitely.
We'll be back at it next week.
Yes.
Hey, listen, gang, thanks an awful lot for being with us. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Main Streets. Thank you, BNN-TV. What a beautiful building we're in. We love it. Listen, gang, get out there and do something artful for yourself. And like we like to say every week, please keep in the forefront of your minds. Our mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews on foreign soil. Please get out, do something artful, do it for them. You'll feel great. Hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Be safe out there, okay? Bye-bye, guys.